So we are here today to celebrate. I'm just kidding. We're here today to do the third live stream for the Gemini era. Gemini is my upcoming fourth album. The title Gemini, I think I've mentioned before, speaks to the duality of the quarter life crisis and the experience of disillusionment and enlightenment, and the contrasts and comparisons between the two emotionally, cognitively, and all that explored through the medium of music. So I look forward to you guys hearing that album, but we have a little bit to get through before we get to that. The album is due to come out in October. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but I'll mention it again here. So we have a whole campaign leading up to it, starting with a few singles, ending with an album video and possibly a mini tour. We'll see. I'm still getting things situated. I'm still getting things in order, but that's what the plan is. I'm gonna give you guys more information about that as it comes and as I solidify it. But that's what I have planned for Gemini. So it's looking to be a really exciting era because of the density of the topics that I'm covering and the experiences that I've been having and that I'm trying to chronicle in real time. But it's an experience that I think that once I make it out the other side of, I'm gonna be all the better for, and I think that you guys will all be the better for, or it'll be all the better for you guys as well. Sorry, complex idiom there. I was supposed to do a single preview right now, but I'm not ready. So behind the music, I have here that I'm intended to discuss the inspiration and creative process behind the album thus far and share some stories. So the process has been kind of arduous thus far because I've been managing what is my senior year of college, working, as well as trying to position myself for internships and opportunities to really advance myself and position myself to establish in this data field that I'm trying to go into for this fall and the following spring. So trying to produce an album in the midst of all of that has been quite hectic. Deciding what I wanted to do post-college, there was a lot of confusion about what I felt like my best role was, or what I felt like I was best at applying myself to, and what I wanted to apply myself to, because throughout my college experience, I had a lot of going into a class thinking that the subject was something that I was interested in, and then taking one class from that major, from that subject, and realizing that I would be miserable every day at work. And it was going through those experiences, of course, that have led me to my senior year today, where I'm struggling a little bit, to be honest. I'm two classes I have like a low grade in, we'll say. I'm not gonna spill my business, but there are two classes I have a low grade in, and we're doing our best, and we're gonna pull through the best that we can. In spite of that, I've been working on this album. I've been trying to get the album video coordinated, or at least organized, so that when the time comes to really execute on it, everything's in place. This whole album is on a different scale than any of my previous albums, so it's almost been just like a juggle, just trying to maintain focus on what the theme is and maintain focus on what this album is intended to do, which is to provide a sense of solace to those who are going through an existential crisis, and specifically those who are going through their quarter life crisis or midlife crisis. I'm going through my quarter life crisis right now. I'm slowly but surely coming out the other end of it, but I'm still in the process of processing what the worst of it was like. So I don't necessarily feel like I'm out of the woods yet. I feel like you'll hear that on this album. There are going to be experimental, ambient, I would say, tracks that are really just crafted to really capture my emotions during the downswing, or the first half, I guess you could say, of the crisis, where I was really just kind of in a downward spiral of sorts. I didn't really project that on social media because, who does? That's weird, that's cringy, and I don't like cringe, and I know you guys don't like cringe, and you guys don't like the ick, and I don't like the ick. So I try not to, to drown you guys out with negativity. But in this album, I kind of try to, in an as accessible a way as possible, capture what those negative moods were like. And I think I've said this before, but that's not something I've done in previous albums. In previous albums, I've mentioned to my partner, Tracy, that in my previous albums, I kind of tried to approach the subjects of the album after I had gone through them, or after I feel like I had gotten a handle on them. But this time, I'm actually producing the album. Sometimes I'm working on the songs when I'm in a bad mood. Sometimes I'm working on the songs when it's not the right time, or when I haven't necessarily scheduled and allotted time to work on the music. If you always are trying to uh, fit things in at the right time, or trying to schedule it perfectly, trying to be perfectionist, you never get anything done, which is something I've also experienced with this album, is creative block. So y'all would be having a single by now, the first single by now. It was actually, y'all would actually be having it by like late March, early April. But what happened was I crashed into a wall. Not literally, of course, figuratively, but I crashed like creatively, and I could not, I mean, for the life of me, I could not bring myself to work on the music. It's like I have this album, my fourth album, where I have something to prove. I always have something to prove, but where I really am trying to like broaden my horizons with this album, and I can't even really. I don't even feel like making the music. I don't even feel like working on it. That's been the case in the previous couple weeks because of some, we'll just call it personal situations with my car and with just being a 27-year-old who fucks up life. Um, it's kind of like just fucked up my creativity and just my motivation for a little bit, but I've been getting back in the swing of that. I've been sticking to a regimen of trying to work on at least one song every week, dedicating myself to one song every week. And this is my first time even telling you guys about the pace that I try to keep up, but I've been really trying to practice my organization, practice my conscientiousness, and just make myself, position myself to be the best artist I can be, to hopefully DIY this thing as far as I can take it, and then hopefully bring on a team that can help me create the best community possible, or the biggest community possible for the art that I create. And I'm so grateful for you guys for being a part of that thus far. I'm so grateful for you guys being patient through this process. Like I've just expressed to you guys, it's been a tumultuous past couple months. I started working on this album in probably around March of last year is when I started the conceptualization of it. And I started actually working on the songs, I'd say at the top of this year. So I spent a lot of time marinating on like what I wanted the album to be about, what I felt like was the best reflection of my current state. And I also wanted to get Flux out because I felt like Flux was like a good taster for the different directions that I could take my music moving forward. They were all different styles that I felt confident about, but some of which were new, some of which were, I feel like, evolutions of styles that I've done before. Yeah. This album is a lot more cohesive than, sorry, I totally switched topics. To finish what I was saying before, I want to thank you guys for being patient throughout my tumultuousness and throughout my turbulence.